If you tell someone you live in Phoenix or are thinking about moving to Phoenix, you're guaranteed to hear the same thing. Oh man, I don't know how you're going to handle that heat. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and pretend like the heat is not a big deal. It does get very hot in the summer, but I'm going to give you some tips on how to handle the heat and also some activities you can do in the summer. Let's get into it. Keep in mind, Phoenix is built for the heat, and there's plenty of activities where you can leave the 115-degree weather outside, head inside for some air conditioned fun. So, for indoor activities, there's plenty of movie theaters, arcades, bowling alleys, also plenty of mall options throughout the Phoenix metro area. And if you want to catch a Diamondbacks game, that'll be air conditioned as well. What you'll find is during the summer, things are catered towards the heat and moving people indoors to air conditioning. When it comes to outdoor activities, you want to be pretty strategic about when you do them. Whether it's hiking, mountain biking, or even golfing, a lot of people are getting up at sunrise and getting these things done early. To give you an example, when I first moved here, I went mountain biking in the summer, got to the trailhead about 7:30 a.m. and felt like I was there fairly early. The parking lot was completely full, and many people are getting out there before 6 a.m. Now, one thing to keep in mind if you enjoy golf, although it's really hot in the summer, what you'll find is the rates become much lower. So courses that may be $300 in the winter can be much more affordable in the summer. So if you can handle the heat, you can play some really nice courses. Another way to stay cool is being near the water. There's a couple water park options. You've also got Lake Pleasant up north. You've got Tempe Town Lake where you can do some kayaking and paddleboarding. And some of the resorts in the area also offer a day pass so you can utilize their pool. Another thing is if you're in an area with an HOA, some of them have community pools or splash pads for the kids. Now for some tips to help you handle the Phoenix summers. One of the first things my wife and I realized when we moved here is that timing is everything. You want to get things done as early as possible, and you don't want to be running a bunch of errands at 3 p.m. when it's 115 degrees out. It's just too hot and it takes so much energy out of you. And if you're going to the grocery store, you have to head straight home. Otherwise, that ice cream in the back's going to melt, and no one wants the ice cream melting, right? Another key tip is to stay hydrated. Dehydration can happen quickly and really sneak up on you, so you want to be prepared. You're always going to want to have a water bottle on you in the car and be ready for the heat. Now, another thing is, I wouldn't just drink water. You want something with electrolytes. You really need to replenish the body. And so it's not just water, but also some sort of electrolyte drink. When it comes to clothing in the summer, you're going to want to wear things that are lightweight, breathable, and can dry quickly. In the summer, I'm usually swapping out my cotton t-shirts for more of a lightweight, dry fit material. I know some brands out there even have like a SPF built into it, so that's always a good option. And then for shorts, I'm usually wearing something that's kind of that board short type material, something that dries quickly and is really lightweight. One lesson I learned fairly quickly is you need to use sunscreen. I had a few occasions where I went out without sunscreen. It was only about 70 degrees out. I thought I'd be fine, and I got absolutely scorched. So if you're into outdoor activities, I love mountain biking, golfing. You want to apply sunscreen and reapply it. Also, your lips will get really dry. So any sort of lip balm, maybe something with an SPF will really help in the summers. One other thing to think about is your car is going to get really hot, whether it's parked out in front of your house, if it's out in a parking lot for a couple hours. Sunshades are pretty much mandatory. So you want to get that sunshade up in the windshield anytime you're leaving your car outdoors for a while. Definitely don't leave any snacks, anything that can melt in the car. And if you're going to the grocery store, you'll want some sort of cooler or some sort of cool pack that you can put it in to help from things melting in the 115-degree weather. Now, one question I get asked a lot is, do you need a pool in Phoenix? And the answer is it really depends. For my wife and I, we felt it was mandatory, but there's a couple different options. If you don't have a pool in your backyard, there are a few things that you can do. As I mentioned previously, there are some resorts that offer day passes, but there's also HOAs or communities that have a community pool. So even though you may not have a pool in your backyard, you have access to a community pool. So that's also helpful. And of course, if you have a friend or family member that has a pool, that's going to be amazing. One thing to keep in mind, if you know you want a pool, I would recommend looking for houses that already have a pool. Statistics have shown people that get pools installed will recoup about 50% of the cost of that pool when they resell their home. So you're not going to recoup the full value of installing a pool. So I recommend finding a home with a pool already if you know you have to have one. The last thing I'll mention, don't be afraid to go out in the evenings. When the sun goes down, the heat is so much easier to deal with. And as I mentioned, the city of Phoenix is built for the heat. So if you go out to a restaurant, many of the patios will be covered with misters, keep you pretty cool. Even if it's 95 to 100 degrees, you can eat out on a patio and be totally fine. To sum it up, Phoenix summers are extremely hot, and I'm not going to lie to you and say it's not that bad. Summers are very hot here. Learn from my mistakes though. Take some of these tips: proper clothing, sunscreen, hydration, be near the water. All these things will help you be prepared for the summer. And if you want to learn more, download my Phoenix relocation guide and you'll get all kinds of info on what summers are like, things to do, outdoor activities, and even more.